This campaign gave me shivers because one part was so epic, but it also kicked me for inactivity while I was playing. I'm about to be kicked due to inactivity.
Move. You were disconnected.
Come on! They broke a fundamental game dev rule in this campaign. You probably felt it too, even if you couldn't place it, and it's gonna haunt me forever. The writing and story does make a 4-year-old look like an award-winning author.
What's this, you fucking piece of shit? What's this?
But people have been quick to jump on the hate train as usual, when in reality they actually cooked for a couple segments. This looks so cool, man.
I feel like this was given to like the senior level designers and the senior artists. Whoa, look at that. That was
Yeah! What do you think of that?
There you go. Oh, she's gone.
Oh! I just clapped her. Hating on Call of Duty is definitely the cool kid thing to do these days. There are millions of videos out there, but I'm a certified game dev, not a certified hater. Be honest, people were a bit excited hearing Black Ops 7 would pick up where BO2 left off, allowing us to see how our heroic efforts paid off from 10 years earlier, is what we thought. But instead, a lot of the game is in a drugged state where it's hard to tell if you're progressing the real story or dreaming. Hard to tell if the demons you're fighting are real or if you're just seeing things. So don't tell me that we get like cursed or whatever now and go into a hallucination the entire game. The Cradle is the red hypno gas that you'll see throughout the game. That is what the enemies, the bad guys, are using to take over the world. It basically gives our whole squad flashbacks, and then we play a mission through each of their memories. It's the whole reason Menendez is back, because we killed him before. He's just in here. The idea does not suck, right? Like, it allows devs to add things into a game that aren't possible normally. But when you start spending half the game or even more in that state, and every boss you encounter is also in that state, you start to disassociate with it. It stops feeling like Call of Duty and more like another game. That is not a scene I ever thought I'd see playing Call of Duty. Why does he look cross-eyed sometimes?
What the hell? We fell from the sky? What is going on?
Like when you fall off the map in Mario Odyssey. Far Cry 3, right? An absolute classic. It is one of the best games ever, with one of the worst boss fights ever, because you spend the whole game learning the landscape, upgrading your weapons, upgrading your health, to then be put into a drug state where you fight Voss with nothing that you've built up the whole game. Different gameplay than the whole rest of the game. Anticlimactic, and 15-year-old me was like, was that it? Because game dev rule number 32, never let a player wonder, is this real or am I tripping balls? The feeling of progression is what keeps someone playing a game.
You see, I'm telling you, he's still hallucinating.
No, they just went into the container where there was like red mist. Not spending half an hour trying to save Woods.
Woods is dead. You gotta get your head on straight, bro.
We're going after Woods. End of discussion.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man.
And then when you save him, it's not actually him, it's a random guy, and then the guy f***ing dies anyways. Like, what do you mean that was 30 minutes of my time for zero story progression? Like, I know Woods isn't real, so me playing that mission, even though Mason was like, he's real, he's here, I knew that I was like, this is a side quest. What are we doing? Black Ops 7.
Black
Dude, there's Out of Bounds.
This is me as a developer.
Bro,
Right?
oh my God, that scared me.
Were you
Oh
typing?
my God.
Honestly, this feels more like Far Cry than Call of Duty.
That's actually so true. Right here, look up there and then walk forward.
Oh no!
Get quick scope, Menendez.
I dropped that one.
I thought he said, you want me, daddy? The story has us jumping back and forth between Avalon, the open world map, and then missions that are set elsewhere that are linear playthroughs. And that's where I felt that Avalon becomes problematic.
There is my phone.
Stop right there. Ain't no way he looked like that. I'm gonna be kicked for inactivity again. There's some good missions in the game, but when you get back to Avalon and put into the open world, the intensity flatlines, because it's hard to make an open world game feel intense after you just played through a heavily scripted mission experience. Like, we were running hundreds of meters in silence sometimes just trying to get to the next checkpoint.
I feel like we're just going in circles here.
Hostile. Round of let's go.
Like, he's just camping here by himself. Like, you know what I mean?
Wingsuit. I have the wingsuit now.
Press A while in the air. Bro, that thing just spawned in right in front of me.
Oh, really?
But then as I played through more and more, I started to understand why it was built this way. I remembered that they announced the end game, which is unlocked after you finish the campaign, and it's going to take place in Avalon. Basically like survival against bots. It's like an extraction shooter, and I didn't love that it was like interfering with my campaign experience a little bit, because I like the Call of Duty campaigns usually and how they feel, and now this one's kind of like open world, but it's just open world so that the end game makes sense, which I probably won't play, because if I want to play an extraction shooter, I'll probably just go play one. COD's being a little bit shiny object syndrome is getting to him, we'll say. Some Fortnite skins, don't mind if we do. Extraction shooter doing well, don't mind if we do. Then when I was watching an intense cutscene, Cold Boss 28 had something to say. Bro, why is Cold Boss 28 talking in my game? Like, we're in a private campaign, and there's Cold Boss in his family room playing the game. And I started to understand why I kept seeing people join my campaign game and leave over and over again. And that is because we are permanently online on the Avalon map with other players. Even when you're doing your campaign missions, it's all in one place. There are other people in your server, even though the devs just hide them. It's the reason you can't play this campaign without internet. You have to be connected. It saves time for the devs. It's cheaper to do it that way, because back in the day, you know how they would do it? They would basically make 2 separate games, one for campaign, one for multiplayer, built on different code with very different systems. The jacket's coming off, I'm pissed. Maybe it's just this mission that is like that.
I really hope so. I really don't like this.
He says as he flies in with his wingsuit. My last discovery with Avalon was actually something that I enjoyed. It brought me a lot of joy, which slowly diminished, and I actually maybe kind of disliked it in the end. Yemen from Black Ops 2 was in the campaign, and I said it in my last video. When you hop into a campaign mission and you're like, hey, I know this place. It's such a cool feeling. Dude, this is Yemen. This is Yemen from Black Ops 2, multiplayer map. Especially in this case when it's a game from 10 years ago and this is its predecessor. But it's not sunshine and rainbows, because then I came across Skyline. And I also noticed in the Dead Ops arcade, they copy and pasted Hacienda, a literal copy and paste from Black Ops 6. Map remakes and features are cool and they're fine with me, like remake and raid, whatever, but I don't think it's cool when it's a direct copy and paste, especially when it's from like the game before. Some people like seeing something and they're like, oh, it's a bit of an Easter egg, but honestly, I think most of us feel like how we feel about AI content and AI stuff is like, I don't want to pay someone to create AI stuff or give me the same thing again. Reunited with karma, here we are. When it comes to gameplay, this game is different. The smoothness and the actual gunplay is still the same, which is good, because after putting an unmentionable let's just pretend I said that right, amount of hours into Arc Raiders, I'm glad that I could come back to this game, and it just feels so smooth. It does. Gotta give COD credit for that. But the mechanics, a little bit different. The enemies are now bullet sponges. There's more boss fights throughout the game, more upgrades you can find in the world, and overall, it's more of an RPG experience where you build up your own gameplay loop and like character than a normal story-driven campaign. And to be honest, I don't hate it. I don't. The only part I do hate is maybe how they put a lot of time into endgame, because that's where all this RPG aspects are going to go, and maybe didn't put as much time into the story and the scripting, which I will touch on a bit later. If you're watching this, you probably know there's going to be spoilers, but for example, when you fight the final boss, Kagan, I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about Kagan. I don't know nothing about this person. No emotion, no nothing. But the grappling hook, hell yeah, brother. So the core gameplay, honestly, it's actually banging. But the story and how jarring going in and out of Avalon is, teleporting around the earth just to be confused a lot of the time. It's not just me. If I had $1 for every time one of the characters said, "What's going on? Who's that? That's impossible," I'd be rich, because the characters don't even get it. He just jumped off his head. With all this weird shit going on, you'd hope that there are some relieving factors to keep it fun. And oh boy, did Hijacked ever come back when we needed him most. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready. So let's move the first things without the... Okay, Gio just activated the active question.
Did you not? I said, are you ready? You said, I am ready. So
yeah, but...
This mission on Hijacked is by far the best mission in the game. And it's the only unique part of the game when it comes to strategy as well. We're sneaking through the boat. They give you some tomahawks and you're trying to get to the other side of the boat underground. And you even get an achievement if you do it undetected. So you know,
Oh, shit.
I had to get that. But what's funny is this is the only mission you don't play as the main group of characters. They took us away from Avalon, away from those characters, and away from the drugs, and it was awesome. It might be the only mission that doesn't have the cradle interference just messing with our minds. Is there a direct correlation between not having that and having the best mission in the game? I don't know. You tell me. I said, give me that active camo, boy, and I started running through that ship. They don't tell you exactly where to go, but we all have an idea of how to get underground on Hijacked.
Oh, we did it, man.
Let's go. Oh. And the enemies have a little detection meter, kind of like Hitman, because you're supposed to be stealth. And it made me think this would have been a much better campaign. Just throw in some more stealth missions. We've already got the mechanics here, and it would have been better. Let's be honest, Black Ops might be done after this, so Stealth Ops. Give us some Stealth Ops, okay? A little more tactical campaign, huh? But the multiplayer can just stay as normal. I just want 50% of the income from that for the idea. Certified banger of a mission, even though I have no clue who we were playing as.
Section, there's a hatch to the cooling pool. Hit the switches to open it.
Who the fuck is Section?
I think that means like team.
Oh. Oh, I fell into the water.
Into the boiling water. We do need to talk about the story and the characters. And with any new game and new set of characters, you got to figure out how to introduce them. Like 50-50, everyone's favorite. Each of the squad members get exposed to the gas, and that is how we end up learning about each character, because we have a flashback to a time that they had, and then we play through that mission. The idea is there. You gotta tell us about the characters, but like the execution it's laughable. Every time we see the gas in the game, everyone says, "What's going on? Oh my gosh." And I've been here before. And that reaction is valid the first time, but when it just happened to Homeboy in your squad 10 minutes ago, and you guys are not understanding the pattern here, like what? And I know the writers need to give us a goal for every single mission so we have something to work towards, but every time we're in the drug state, the characters just like make up a plan and they're like, "Guys, I think we must do this. Yes, we must. I think we shall." The dude's like, "We have to save the president." And we're like, "Dude, that happened 10 years ago. Why is that relevant right now?"
We have to save the president.
But the whole squad is like, "Okay, let's go save president that doesn't exist." When we land in the first cradle mission, Mason is like, "I think we must do this thing, and we should go here."
We confront Menendez. Somehow I know it's the only way out. And I'll bet he's in that mansion up ahead.
And then later he says, "I know my dad is not real, but he is the key."
He's the key. Let's go.
Like, what are you making up? What are you I'll give it to him, he was right, somehow. It's just being the player seeing this all play out, and it all seems so seemingly random. It just kind of irked me a bit, it did. It was reminiscent of a horror movie when something happens, like a cutscene was playing and I said, "Guys, don't believe it. It's just the cradle. Don't believe what's happening." But in a horror movie, when you hear a scary noise in the basement, they don't just leave it. You say, "Don't go check it out." And what do? They check it out every time. Cheddar cheese sandwich crackers.
There's cookies.
There's an E10.
E10.
E10 these nuts. There was a part of this game that gave me shivers for a good reason. When chasing after Mason's dad in a portal that his soul gets sucked into, stick with me, stick with me. I can't believe that's real. You land at Mason's cabin and you defend the cabin against these creatures. But seeing this location again and getting to see them together again, like fishing down by the dock in a wholesome way, even though I ruined that moment by throwing a Molotov.
Molotov out.
I think I gotta put Molotov out. I'm the salmon.
You're the salmon. Mason is the salmon.
It brought back that nostalgia that I think this whole campaign was supposed to bring to players. When he's up in the tree, in the snow, and his dad's down below, I could see the cutscene in my head from Black Ops 1. It made me remember the reason I'm playing this game today. It's because Black Ops 1 was my first ever Call of Duty, my first ever campaign. And now we're seeing it unfold 15 years later. But then shortly after, I had a feeling of, I wouldn't call it disgust, but coming back to reality, remembering what it is now and what it was then and just how different it is, I kind of realized it's nostalgia bait. Look at how good it was back then. Hey, Gamer Man Adam, take a look. Wasn't it so great? And people are saying it's the nostalgia bait campaign, but nostalgia doesn't always have to be with remorse, because I enjoyed having that memory 15 years ago, playing that for the first time. Just a shame they can't make us feel that way with the new ones.
Oh, you're getting close to your dad.
Sorry, Dad. Sorry, Dad. There are many games that have crazy storylines and alternate dimensions, but most people's favorite games when it comes to story are those that are not extremely unrealistic or far-fetched. Grand Theft Auto, GTA, Red Dead Redemption, classic Call of Duties, even some of the Halos, because their universe is so grounded and there's not random portals opening up to other universes. It feels cohesive and it feels grounded. That is what made it hard to connect or feel anything when I played this game, especially because my characters are literally dumb sometimes. Every video out there is tearing this game apart, but I enjoyed some of it. The boss fights were cool. The RPG element, I liked it. But the biggest problem is that it didn't feel like Call of Duty. And secondly, too much of this game is set in an alternate universe dimension. That is a big game dev no-no. COD needs a new story and new characters that people actually care about. Get some good writers in here if they really want to save this thing. One LSD trip and a crazy boss fight per campaign. Okay, guys? We like that. One, that's good. Any more? Not interested. But I do love you for making it to the end of this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, because I almost didn't make this video. I was a week late. I was out of town when Black Ops 7 came out, and I almost didn't make it. I almost scrapped it. But then I remembered some of you guys watch every video to the end as long as I keep putting in the work. And that means a lot to me. You gotta play the YouTube game and the algorithm, and sometimes that almost stops me. But the ones who watch to the end, they keep me going. Now, back to the editing dungeon.